Are you a coder who gets rejected based on no practical experience or because others have a strong LinkedIn personal brand and you don't? Your coaching institute will hate me for doing this, but I welcome you to Code to Career 30 days challenge where I have chosen these 5 total strangers out of my LinkedIn contacts and have taken up the challenge to help them go from jobless or underpaid to well paid job, that too without additional degrees and certifications in the next 30 days. If you are a coder and wants to get a well paid job, this is your golden chance to experience real project implementation from scratch that gets you a well paid job and builds your LinkedIn personal brand and also resume for absolutely free. So why just watch? Get into our WhatsApp community to experience this. Link is in the description. Now let's get started.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Start, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
we are creating a user ID and password for a user, or we are creating for any users.
Just let it for now. Just let it be one user, one
Okay,
user
sir.
and one password. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
You
Because
can go for multiple users and password, but that would create a database of users.
yeah, sir. Because I was thinking to go with the file management or making folder by using MKDR for each user. From there, we will send the data here. So like that, I have some things. So okay, sir. That is easy, sir, for one user. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So any other question? Did you get some idea or how to do it? What will be its shape, form? Yeah. Anybody jumping into the code directly? Then what are you doing?
Sir, first we did like outlining the requirement.
Uh-huh.
After that, refining the same, like what will be the inside steps we are going to do,
Mm-hmm.
like that I have planned,
Okay. So
like
let me.
same as in the C companion.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
I thought to go with hmm, this one FSM. Like it is a bit tough for me. No, I'll try for that.
Okay. I gave you permission. You can now open your document which you have already started writing, right? In the folder. So you have permission. So we can start with Mary if she has written that document to open and explain her idea.
No, sir, I hadn't started yet writing the
You
document.
haven't started. Okay. Ajay, you are on mute, Ajay.
Yes, sir, I'll share.
Yeah. Today, are you joining from your laptop or mobile phone?
Yes, sir. It got repaired today itself.
Okay, great.
So
Requirement.
I joined.
Okay. Yeah, just explain your thought process.
Like what I'm going to do in like uh, first I thought to uh, accept like empty command line, like and adat out. If we execute adat out,
Mm-hmm.
at that time it will print some instructions. This
Mm-hmm.
is the instructions you need to follow for, to uh, go further.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, like if there are any instructions like help or hyphen h, like here as I mentioned, like it will print along with the description, like it will print existing commands and their description. And if first command argument is like hyphen login. It will ask for credentials. Else if we want to set any parameters, will be like sending set after that parameter name, after that the value, like as I shown here.
Okay.
And if there in other parameter like get, it will get the parameter and it will fetch the current value and print on the CLI. If you want to add new command, we'll be sending this like hyphen new CMD with the command name, command parameter, and command parameter name and command parameter number. That here I have mentioned.
Okay.
Like here is something miss, sir. Like below it will be there. In that it will be a command. Total new command will be registered based on the number of parameters. Compare, it will compare maximum number of parameters and uh, based on that it will register. If the command limit exceeds, it will print error. Else it will print unregistered command like that.
Okay, great. Are you trying this with this thing on a Linux console?
No, sir. Like today, I thought to use Linux console. Like I am having a virtual machine in my PC laptop. In that, I'll try. I tried to use VS Code in the Windows only. Like I'm facing issue with the make file.
Okay.
Like for that time, I thought to go with Linux only. Like after refining the outline, here like when we directly execute the execute this out file, it will print like this.
Got it.
What is the procedure to be executed? And this is, and to get the help, we need to execute this one. To log in, we need to execute this. To set the parameter, to get the parameter, and to set new command. To like register new command.
Okay.
And if there are any arguments within the like after first argument, it will based on that it will classify and print on take action based on that. Like if we have hyphen help, it will print with this like description, and for login it will take and compare the username and the hard coded password.
Okay.
If the password match, it will be printing on the console that login success. Else it will print error, login failed, please try again. After that, if the login is success, then the like set command and get command will be set get and new command arguments will be like will be giving access to the user. Else it will print some error here. Here, yeah. I need to change this one. Like
yeah, don't do any changes on
error.
the fly. We just want to understand what is your thought process.
Yeah. This is what I have thought.
Okay.
Like I thought to go with the finite state machine. Like next page I'll do that by today. If like I got some idea on that.
Okay, I appreciate. Yeah, great. Okay, next let us go with Sheikh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please share. You have the permission. Please share.
Sir, I have It is visible, sir.
You can share. Everybody has permission to share. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. You can share.
Sir, does it is visible, sir?
Which is disabled?
Visible, sir. It is visible.
No. It is not. It's shared. You
Okay.
select the screen and then share it. Did you see that share button, which is becoming blue in color?
Yeah, sir.
Yes. Now it is coming.
Yeah, sir. I actually didn't gone through all the outline which has mentioned in the C companion. I just put in my book. After that, I just type on this document.
Yeah.
So my actual thought process, I'm going to say it, sir. So
Yes,
if you
yes.
have if you have any doubt, you can know it, because I have set some conditions, like when first I will put it is in some kind of loop, that it will always used to show that enter, help, login or register. If
Okay.
if it is a new user, yeah, it will tell to register. If it is a old user, then it will set to login along with the password. Then he will, when he is login, then it will send to an other function, which is a command line function. And that command line, it will wait for the command from the user, and it will check along with the position. Like as we know that in the Linux, a.out will be the first command line argument. Along with that, whichever the command it is second, it will be the second command. Here I have mentioned, I think on paper I have mentioned that. Yeah, like that, sir. See, this is the first command, and this is the second command.
Okay.
Based upon the position, it will check whether the user is entering the correct command along with the correct flag or not. After that, for set, it will go and set that particular parameter one after the other.
Okay.
Here our whatever the command, we have different command like pressure or temperature. So every command will be a structure variable type. All these commands will be of the same type of structure. We have put all these structure in a command inter function, which will take care of that. So whenever set will be there, it will go and start setting for hyphen f or d for float, or like that. It will go and it will set certain type of parameters. If anything is wrong, it will simply print the enter command is wrong or something. It will print some error message, and it will come back to the again to that page which the user has been came after login. After that, he will get two commands, like one for help with a particular command, which some commands will be default command, like temperature, pressure, gas, or something we will put by default. If a user want to register, then he need to register through. We will put some condition whenever the user is logging in. We will put some condition that first four character or first four characters should be int or integer value, like 2, 3, 4, 6, like that. And along with that, so whenever a user want to register a command, he need to put his uh, where I have written. Here I have written, sir, that he need to put the first argument as four character along with that command. So we will use 2D array or some kind of character pointer, so that we going to check each position of that array. First argument, after the second argument, and I also discuss that we have different parameters like int, character, string. So for int, we will have hyphen I or hyphen j, hyphen g. Where I have mentioned it.
If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description.
Yeah, sir, here. Like that, we will from second argument onwards, it will start taking hyphen f, and some value it will taking. After that, along with the third command, he will need to put some values like for character, he need to put C. Like that, we will put some values for each of the member of that command. As our command is an structure variable, so we will put each hyphen, and we will use to check by index values. Like to the array, we will have like a r for hyphen 0 hyphen 1, like that we will check. And after, if anything is, if he will enter only like two commands like user ID along with name, along with that like setting the parameters, then it will be acceptable at registration time. And even this kind of thing is even visible with the total overall help command also, in which we will put command along with the total description. For that, I am thinking to make another file, but as you told that this process will become, what you say, total big process for n number of users. So I am thinking to put all those things in some kind of a character array or some other thing. And we will, at the starting, we have only three conditions. Uh, yes, sir. Login, register, help, and exit from that process by using exit function. Whenever the person is logging, it will refer to that command line function. Or even whenever the user is registering, he will goes to the same function only. It is mainly there for checking for authentication. After going there, the command have it will go to that particular command. It will, for example, we have three command, default command: temperature, pressure, gas. So if the user enter first command line argument as a temperature, then if he enter along with it hyphen h, then it will go to that thing. Or if he does not enter anything, it will come that enter uh, help help for this particular command, like a temperature hyphen f, hyphen h, or something related to that. If for example, along with the temperature he put like hyphen on, then he will get what is the temperature value. It is above 30 or below 30, he will get to know. And just like that, we will have some other character like C for day, night, something we will have like that. And all these are checked into the a function command line inter function invite only. We will also have an if condition. If the first command line argument is the four character, the user enter the first four character which we have given, then along with that it will it will check for the hyphen and all those things, and start creating a file or structure at that time only, and adding all those things. And even I'm trying to put in the total all the file is there, no sir, help file, in which it will display each command with total overall description. No, I'm trying to do that also, but I still have something with that. How to add the user registered command with the overall commands, default command. So that I'm thinking to do with an character array.
Okay. Great. Yeah, great attempt. So let us go to Priyank.
Sorry, yeah.
You can unshare and she can share.
I'm still reading the requirement. See, I haven't created any document yet.
Okay, you haven't done? Okay,
No.
fine. Then let us go to Abdul.
Yeah, sir, it is not yet completed for mine. I have done it in some wrong way, it seems. Mine, I did some notes on like what are all the requirements which I have to include in project wise. So it's not yet completed.
So do you have the document populated? Did you create the document and did you write anything? Is the question.
No, sir, I entered some descriptions like this about the project of the details, but I haven't
Where
made
did you enter those things?
in the dashboard like what are all the details. Some base level details only have entered around 3 to 4 lines. And I'm working on that requirements I'm writing notes of it, like how to work on those topics.
Where are you writing that notes?
I mean, in normal notes.
Okay, you are making a notes of it in your physical
Yeah, sure.
Notebook. Okay. So, Princey, what what are your thoughts now? You heard two people speaking. What are your thoughts?
I got a little more clarity on chapter 5, sir.
See, chapter 5 is a kind of chapter wherein or the content essentially in chapter 5 helps somebody to get oneself unlocked from this complex thoughts that rush into their mind when they hear about certain requirement. It only tells what is the organized way of looking at a requirement so that you pick up which is the most important thing, and those most important aspects of the project or the requirement when you start narrating and you write that essay. So there will be certain parts of the essay that you inherently feel that are to be supposed these are supposed to be underlined, or this is an important aspect of this particular requirement. Then you filter them out, you think about it. This need not be the so-called, yeah, quote unquote, the perfect way, but refining the story in step by step manner, that the first draft may not give you so much of clarity. Then you redo it, going back to the requirement and understanding that am I really in line with it. Oh, after two or three iterations, mostly people will reach to a level where they get a hold of the requirements. Then they start to go to second level, third level, which ultimately boils down to your pseudocode. Then comes the expertise on C language two, or the language of choice. And by the way, this chapter has nothing to do with any particular language. It's a pure description of thing. I have suggested many people, if English, definitely English is not our mother tongue. So if that is a big hurdle to you, do not worry. Everyone has a smartphone, switch on the recorder, tell to yourself the requirements and what you think about the requirements. How do you see in the eye of your mind the solution to be in your own language? Doesn't matter. Maybe the jargon here and there, because our language does not have those words, they may come. Doesn't matter. Microcontroller has no equivalent in any of the Indian languages. So you use microcontroller, doesn't matter. But the whole context will be set in one or two iterations. So fifth chapter is only that. So do not attach too much importance to fifth chapter, because it is only a kind of, you can imagine that you are holding a rope to just overcome that speed breaker. There is something you are catching hold of it. You cannot start. It's that ignition that will trigger in your mind to get over that initial speed breaker. That's it. Yeah. So Priyanka, what's your opinion on these when these people are saying? So it is no means, I mean, no way a judgment kind of thing, but the first thought that you got, yeah, I heard them, I think. What are your thoughts?
Thoughts on how they wrote or what they
Yeah,
wrote?
what they wrote and what you had what you had thought about. Maybe you did not write the document. When you went through the requirements, some ideas flashed in your mind. Okay, it can be like this, or this is the design that may work. And now you heard two people presenting their thought process. So I want to understand what's your thought process.
Yeah, so I was able to relate my thought process with Ajay's thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So like he did, maybe I did not use the same terms or like how I will set these things, but yeah, I also considered it in a if else way. And I'm not still there where how much Ajay has completed. I'm still like in the mode like how user will interact, what he will enter, what should be the limitations on the entering part, what kind of limitation I should put there, like which characters he can use, or like I'm trying to understand more from the user point of view, how it can be more user friendly.
Okay.
So I'm still there only. So once I'll clear like how I can make it more user friendly, then I will try to understand from the you can say application perspective, like how what options should be there for the user, what commands he should be able to enter it, and what features I should apply, and what data type and everything. I mean, not from the code, totally code perspective, I haven't gone there yet, but
Okay.
I'm still at the user end. So I think
Yeah,
I will need little time. By Monday, I'll be able to come up with something.
definitely.
Yeah.
Abdul, any thoughts from your side? You now you have the third person perspective also coming.
Yeah, I mean, I had done it in some wrong way when I could look into the Ajay's and Sheikh's document where they have given the complete requirement specific. I could understand that it has to be in this way, and it flashes some points like where I have to improve myself with respect to this document point. Yeah.
Okay. Do you people see that there is some similarity between what Ajay told and what Sheikh told it? He told finite state mission, and Sheikh also told that I will use a switch case. Switch case is also something like depending on certain state, certain condition, right? The switch case, I jump onto the particular case and I do it. State machine is almost same in that way. It is just that somebody told in a very exhaustive way, and somebody was able to take time and do it. By the way, I should say Ajay today became like that lion which has come out of its den, shook its body and made a big roar. His LinkedIn profile photo is done, this done, and affirmations were done. Yeah, good Ajay. That's what, when you once you overcome your limitation, right? You will see that things are possible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now let me start. I'll share my screen, but before that, let me ask this question. When you went through the requirements document, how many of you thought that, man, this is more than handful? I'm trying to hold, and I see that the marbles are actually overflowing from my hand. That he has given so many things. How many fell into that feeling that this isn't as simple or trivial or something that I thought the same thing that we discussed last time, right? But when you explicitly read the document, how many of you felt that there is more than which meets the eye? There is something beyond these English statements that actually going to happen in future. How many had that feeling when you are going through the requirements? You sat through the requirements, tried to relate them, and picking up the hints that I mentioned earlier, that okay, there is a struct here. The first entry has to be, or the first command which you cannot unregister, right? Should be a help command. Then a command can have options also, or parameters. When you pick up these important criteria, which ultimately should get converted into certain C statements, certain data types or entities which will hold that information. Considering all these points and your understanding of the C language and your familiarity looking at some other code at some point of time earlier, all these consolidated, did you think that there is more than that meets the eye?
Yes.
Now here is the question. When you encountered this complexity, what is the first step you did? When you encountered this huge pile of information around you, right? So did you,
I
it's
tried
like
to
you went,
stick with
uh,
I tried to stick with the smaller portion, not to look at everything at once.
yeah, but this is an invitation to you to a 5-star buffet. once in a lifetime opportunity. Eat everything. And honestly, to tell you, when I have a team lunch, I fast. I don't eat breakfast. I go for team
Yeah,
lunch, and I start with
yeah,
dessert.
that's what, like you prepare from it earlier, right? We haven't prepared from it earlier that we will get such a big thing, but we got it, right? Like a
Yeah, that's
surprise.
what I'm asking, because you use the word called big, right? So my
Yeah.
question is, when you saw the big thing, and that the big thing that you saw was not today, it was not yesterday, it was even one day before, right? A good amount of 24 hours passed. You if you take a printout also and put it in your purse, and whenever you have time and you open and go read it, it will not take more than 2 to 3 minutes to actually give a reading to it. Simple English only, right? Nothing complex. So my question precisely is that when you encountered the big thing, what did you do?
Try to read it again and again so that I can come to some starting point. What I need to, from where I need to start the initial point.
Good. I like this. And that initial point is already mentioned in the document, right? You start with describing what a command should look like. You're getting my point? Let me open the thing. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Yeah. So from now, have a bit more exhaustive focus. I mean, more observe more. System overview is only a system overview. It is nothing. Now, the moment you enter into functional requirements, look at the first statement. It is right in front of you. The starting point is in front of you. You have to define a structure. Sorry, you have to define a command. And I told you can use something like a structure. And what are the parts of that structure? If you would have heard the session that was taken, I actually mentioned when I came to this command name something like char star. I told character pointer, right? Then help text. The moment you see text, it's already a character pointer. If you are not very comfortable, let us say, with a pointer way of looking at strings, you can as well create a character array here. Character array here. Just that you have certain restrictions. Here text can be, let us say, 30 characters. Command name can be not more than 10 characters. Yes, you lose out on some space. If it is a very small command, there will be unused spaces, all those things. But still you can zero the array and then put the characters. Then command
Sorry for interruption, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible.
It's
It is
visible
not
to
being
us.
shared, I think.
Can somebody confirm whether it is visible or not?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, it is
It's
visible,
visible,
Ajay.
sir. It's
Visible,
visible.
sir.
Yeah, it is visible.
Like, can I?
Yeah, maybe you may want to rejoin again or try to do something. Yeah. Command interpreter function.
Okay, sir.
Command interpreter function. Yeah, it is interpreter function of what that command is supposed to do. Something provided by the application, right? because this person is only a mediator. He understands the command and he hands over it to the application, or rather he requests the application to say that, see, this is what I got, how should I understand it? And expected number, int or unsigned int. The first starting point is a structure, right? But even to get these kind of things, we have to understand something called, or let me put like this, there is a much more better way to understand these things, and that's called as use case diagram. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. Okay, don't take my writing. I am a left-handed person, so I am actually writing with right hand. I can write with both hands, but my left hand writing is actually much more beautiful than right hand. Okay, use case diagram. If you remember, in our initial screening also, I asked, can you think of a use case for this? For the code piece, I asked, can you think of a use case, right? And also I told in the last session that you need to read something about use case diagram. How many of you read about use case diagram? You recollect? Oh, did you say that? Priyanka is thinking, oh, did you say that? Abdul now already saying, the moment I'm saying use case, that maybe he would have told that. How many of you read about use case diagram?
Yes, sir, I have gone through.
Yeah, what did you understand?
Like basics, I got to know. Like
Yeah,
in use
basics only
case,
I'm also asking. What are
yeah,
the
there will
basics you
be
got?
a system,
Huh?
action, use case,
Huh?
and relationships.
Huh?
In relationships, there are three types of 3 to 4 types relationships. Association include extend and generation.
Okay,
And
enough. Yeah. So
generalization.
we'll
Not
not make the things so complex. The simplest thing is, for our system, there is something called as boundary. We first set up a boundary. Any action that you do or you want a system to do, the boundary is nothing but the code that you write. It is under the code that you write, right? It is the complete CLI infra. The code that you write is the CLI infra that you are writing. So in that you will have use case 1, where the use case exactly means in this context how you can use that particular code that was written. The way that you use that. For example, if I give you an equipment or a tool, so there is certain way that the tool has to be used. Yeah, a spanner has to be used in this way, a screwdriver has to be used in this way. There are certain things that you associate with the kind of activities that you can do with a particular tool. And the activities are well defined. They are not random activities. A dentist, the moment you see a spanner in a dentist's hand, you will jump out of the seat and you will run away. Right? And an electrician he cannot remove a syringe from his bag. You will not call that electrician the next time. So a tool decides what is the use case that it is supposed to address. And then the outside world, which interacts with the system within the boundary using that use case, is called actor. The one who acts. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. and he has an association with the use case. So use case can extend other use case. For example, let us say I want to bake a cake. Okay, the use case name is bake a cake. Then there will be an extended use case, preparation of batter. Yeah, this is a use case that gets extended. This use case extends and it says that, okay, I have to first prepare the batter. Make sense? Now correlate this kind of analogy with our CLI. There is a boundary, and that boundary now, which we have already defined, is the CLI boundary. The moment whenever I say CLI boundary, is the whole code that is yet to be written. And there is some user outside. See what the user intends to do with the application that comes later part of time. And that is specific to the kind of application you write. But we know that CLI has some mechanism inbuilt within it to actually cater to the needs of the user, which is the actor here, because the CLI heavily depends on that command interpreter function from the application. CLI does not decide what has to be done with that particular command. This is clear? The use case is very clear now, right? Here, the first aspect is the moment you say that actor is interacting with the CLI and this is the use case, you need to define the use case, like how I have defined saying that bake a cake, prepare batter. And this is where these commands should come, which is the command like, oh, I want to get some parameter. Get is one use case. Then you have second use case that you put, and you can say that this is a set use case. At a very high level, we are still not talking about that can set have parameters, can get have parameters. No, I'm not getting into any sort of thing. I'm just saying that the actor using this use case interacts with the CLI infrastructure. There may be certain extended use cases, but I'm not thinking too loud now. I'm trying to get set and get, which are my two commands. You can have now as part of your application that you thought of. Maybe you should say glow because or write because the end application is, let us say, something to write on an LCD. Read is another use case. Read from the LCD or LCD buffer. The use case is very much specific to you, what you want to do or what the application can actually do for you, and that you are interested to either modify it or get some result from it. But at a high level, from a 6,000 feet high, when you see this is what is the thing that you are doing it. And it also tells one more important thing. It tells you how you interact with the system. How many of you know driving a car? How many of you know driving a car?
I drive, sir.
Yeah, I drive. You drive. So what are the, do you worry about the amount of engine, the horsepower of the engine? Do you worry about with my every acceleration, how many ml or how many milliliters of gasoline is actually pumped into the engine, and then how fast is the piston going? Do you worry about all these things?
Definitely not.
So what are your primary concerns when you enter into a car?
My concerns, I check if there is enough gasoline in it.
Yeah. Or what are the mechanisms through which you interact with the car? Let me put like this.
But can you repeat the question, sir, once again?
What are the primary interfaces through which you interact with the car?
The joystick that controls the headlight and the wipers and the steering and the what is it called? I mean, here the cars are automatic, so I don't have to change the gears every time. So only during the time once I start the car, I bother about the gear.
Gear, okay. So the primary interfaces are your steering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
the
the
gear, obviously, when you want to reverse or something, you may have to put it back and forth or something. And
Yeah.
definitely the brake.
Yeah, and the accelerator.
Yeah, accelerator. So those are the interfaces. Like what I'm trying to say is get, set, write, read, glow, whatever. Those are kind of entry points, literally not entry points, but a kind of entry points which the user actor goes through and interact with the use case. Making sense? So these are slowly now transforming into your functions, transforming into your commands. When you are narrating this story, oh, okay, the user gets, the user sets, the user writes, the user reads. There is a action, right? Verb. There is a verb that is going on. Now, go back and recollect chapter 5. Did he not mention these kind of parts of speech kind of thing when you are writing an essay? How many of you recollect that the parts of speech, and when you are writing an essay, these all parts of speech comes into existence? Yeah.
Yes, I'm not good at like creating essay, but I thought I got good idea.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is you need to make a high level use case, then think through it and create sub use cases. Now, what can be some sub use cases? You say that, okay, already this is a get, but you elaborate now. Get. And the second part of the function is, or the command is get temp. One level below, the actor still interacts in the same way. There is no much difference. Set temp plus here certain value. Again, the interaction is not going to change. So what I'm trying to say is, if your use cases are well defined, the interactions and the interfaces are automatically being taken care at the first instance when you are coming up with the use cases only. Now you have to now think like, how do I represent this particular command? And that is where, if you see this document, I'm saying go for a structure. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. Because the moment here, when you are saying set temperature, so along with temperature, along with set, you have another parameter called temp a string called temp and unsigned int certain value 25 or whatever. Now this set itself is the actual command. Now when this set temp has to be executed, there should be some interpreter, some code which interprets set temp 25 individually. It collects, it brings them together, and then it makes a sense out of it. Now you don't know anything what has to, now you don't know what the set temp actually does. A provision is being given that when you say set help or set temp help, it will tell that, oh, you need to type set temp and provide an unsigned integer or provide the temperature value, help string. Do you people see with a simple diagram like this of a use case itself, the structure itself is automatically emerging out of my discussion? Making sense or nonsense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Or is it, oh, deep? It's really deep. Yeah. Just one diagram bringing so much of insights, and that getting translated into certain language feature that C language provides called a structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, other people are silent. Is it that you are trying to absorb what has been given? Kind of thing. What is on the top of your mind, Priyanka?
I'm trying to recollect like what I thought in the requirement writing into the use case, but you are
Hmm.
explaining it.
So these
It was
kind of, sorry, please continue.
yeah, like I was the time of requirement analysis, I was little bit thinking of high level designs also.
Yeah,
So,
these narration that I'm trying to give, right? It is giving you the high level design only.
yeah.
The low level design is definitely the set of functions that form a file. I'm still not talking about functionality. Even though this is saying functional requirements, I'm still not getting into any kind of narration where I'm talking about some function, what to be done with it. But yes, until here, if you are able to swim through, yeah, your high level design document is slowly emerging. And now let us take the second function. It's a functional requirement, but let us see how this function requirement actually has or will have its presence in the high level design document. In the low level design document, yes, it will be literally be seen as a function. This quote unquote C type of functions, right? It literally come into that form. But at a high level document level, you really don't know. In the sense, you really don't think so much like, oh, my function should return this, my function should accept these parameters. No, you don't think at that level. You can mention, no harm, because when you are discussing, right, when you are talking and making certain statements, you tend to take some terms which can become parameters, but you don't say that, oh, this is the parameter. This may become parameter. Making sense? So at a high level, document level, now I'm going beyond certain things now, which is now my command is there with me. I can feel that command, that I can see that command as emerging as a C struct, this, that, and all those things. Your mind can go till that level, but I would say it is good, but at this point of time, it's a overkill. Just understand that You create containers which hold commands. Just think like that. You have things coming to you, and you are holding those things in separate containers. You are being given apple, so you put it in an apple cover or a red basket, then green basket, whatever. You are holding that. Now, once you hold that, you need to name them, which anyways you will do. Type def struct so and so. So that is also done. Now you need to store them somewhere. You got certain set of commands, so you need to store them somewhere, right? That's what is that registration. So in a high level document, you will say that, oh, I have received so and so commands because the user is interested in these kind of use cases. Oh, he is interested in get, he is interested in set, he is interested in some other thing, some other thing, some other thing. He's throwing at me so many commands, and I know where to hold them. But then once I hold them in particular containers, I need to store them. I came from market, everything is there in a single bag, all the vegetables. I isolate the vegetables and I put in respective cover or bag or whatever. Then I need to store them. Yeah. Depending on if this entity will have a shelf life, it will not have a shelf life. It makes no sense to go and store coconut in a fridge. You can once you break it, but before that, it's okay for it to stay outside, right? Potato, onions, and all those things. But something like you bring a milk packet, you can't afford to store milk packet outside. You need to put it in your refrigerator. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying, is it making sense or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, it's making sense.
Yeah. So then why are you hiding? So the second part is command registration. Where do you store? And that's where I told, इतने बार मैंने store बोला है. It's already there. And I already gave a hint that it's an array. Or it could be a similar data structure, which is a closer cousin of array in the behavior. Now somebody, I think Priyanka told, even Ajay told that, even Sheikh also told that limitation. No, don't say limitation. Because you cannot give so much, there are constraints. See that the same challenge can be run for even 80 people, 90 people also, or 10 people. But we have our constraints, right? That we cannot look at those many people information, so much of data to crunch for us also to understand who is good, doing good and all those things. So we thought we need to go with 5 people. So what are the constraints that you put? One of the constraint is you restrict the number of commands that can be registered, that can be stored. I cannot bring certain quantity of product which has to be stored. That is way more than the tools that I have or the amount of storage space I have. I cannot definitely do that, right? So some type of constraint there. So you don't really say that, oh, I am going to declare this array. No, you don't. You are not saying that. You are saying that when I am getting these commands, something like array has to be used at a high level design document. This is sufficient. And next, here, the system will parse input strings to identify and execute commands. On identification, the corresponding command interpreter will be executed. Appropriate feedback or output will be provided for each executed command. Now, how can this come into high-level design document? Think through. That's your task. Till now, whatever you have heard, you can easily convert into a high-level design document. It's actually writing whatever I told into proper English statements will make the initial few paragraphs of high-level design document. And let me tell you, make it very simple. Your high-level design document, low-level design document, and even code. I told you the code will not go more than 200 lines. For 200 lines, they cannot be a high-level design document of 20 pages. Max 2.5 pages. And the dividing line between high-level design document and low-level design document also will be so blur. But still you have to draw a line and say that these things I will put in low-level design document for certain reason. Because you want to name it. For example, you have a struct here. You know that you want to put it in a struct, but are you going to call it struct underscore entity, struct underscore CLI, the name that you want to give? That can become very specific when you want to put it into low-level design document. And this is what yesterday, last time when Priyanka said that I do sequence diagram. Yeah, when you start doing sequence diagram, the function's name and variables also come into existence, right? Command processing for each one of you who are yet to start, who started. Now I think this should set your direction of your further navigation. And now very important thing, which I have noticed. We are writing this for an embedded device. If you are sitting on a Linux console and assuming that something dot and then I do, and there is the shell behind you doing the heavy lifting, but there is nothing for you in the CLI infra. Did you understand this statement? Because if your assumption itself is wrong and you rely on certain kind of things like, oh, I will use this. Yes, you can use that, but you cannot use it in a way that you are using it, is what I'm trying to say. For example, you are saying that I will pass minus h, I will do this, I will do that. Now, when you do that, who is behind to understand that? You only have to write the code. And when you take this minus h, minus help, this thing, that option, this option, do you know what happens in the back end? So much of string manipulation you are planning to do. Even after 40 days, when I come back, you will be still doing that string manipulation only. So you need to restrict, or you need to put a constraint saying that, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And the CLI infrastructure has to do a minimal amount of certain string comparison with certain constant commands. That's it. At the max, it should be something like string compare. Beyond that, I don't see anything. The moment you say, yes, it is set, and I'll give you one more way that this CLI infrastructure can come into use. But then the user, when the user is interacting with the CLI, right? CLI infrastructure, he doesn't even need to type anything. Yesterday, last time I gave a example of Alexa. Their user is not at all typing, it's a voice command. Now imagine for a moment, there is the CLI infrastructure. Okay, there is the CLI infrastructure. you have your application logic here. The CLI infrastructure is connected through some serial line or something to a box. This is some data collection box. It does nothing. It will keep on sending get and sets, and whenever it gets something, it will store somewhere. Yeah, it's like that. The person sitting near the cash counter. I get the cash. I deposit. The change has to be given. Then I return back certain money. Simple, like a cash register. Now I have two buttons here, yellow and red. Okay. And I have a dial here. Increments of 5. Or increments of 1, 2, whatever you take a dial. I press this button. Yeah. Then there is another button. Or let us say I press this button, that's it, set. And I put 5. I dial it to 5. And there for everything there is a common enter button. I click this button, I set this dial to 5, and I click this button. Then some set command will go. The code behind it might be creating a string, but see the interface. Am I typing something? No, I'm not typing anything, right? I'm just pressing one button, doing a dial operation and pressing another thing. This box is intelligent enough that it is sending set temp or something. Now I press this. And this is having only one temperature sensor. So for my device, for my application, my constrained environment, my requirement, I need to get only temperature. I don't worry about anything because the end device also, application is also giving me temperature only. It has no capability to give any other parameter. The moment I simply press this, it instantly sends get. It will not even say get temperature. It will just say get. At least here it will say set and from 5 or something. This button press will simply say get. Then I get that temperature. Then I store it somewhere or show it on a LCD. That's a different thing altogether. Am I using strings here? No. My interface is just this. Now what is happening in your case, when you are sitting on a console, assuming that, oh, I am sitting on a console and doing all these things, it's a heavy duty operation that you are saying that I want to do a lot of string manipulation, take -h and all those things. When you are using shell and those sort of things, understand that you are working on something which has already abstracted so many critical operations. The string parsing, understanding the thing, everything is done for you. But here you have to do. Your CLI infrastructure has to pick up those strings, make a sense out of it, and call the appropriate handler from this. And here I told again, it is a pure function pointer because this registers the function pointer in that particular container. You just call it, it will do some big operation or small operation depending on your application. Put the output in a buffer or certain location that you read and then send it outside. Ground rule, think, imagine. This is ground rule number 1. Ground rule number 2, don't overthink, don't over imagine. Your imagination and your thinking might not be having any limitation. But when your fingers has to dance on the keyboard, right? Then you will see the dance. Jazz, metallic, classical, everything will come.
Sir, sorry, sir, to interrupt you. Can you explain me the function pointer concept again in bag, which is beside the command line interface?
No, no, I'm not saying command line interface. The command line interface, when it receives a command, it cannot process that command. It has to ask the application, see, you have given me this function and I am invoking it. In case if that function is not given by the application, the CLI infrastructure cannot know what to do with that. CLI infrastructure will say that set temp, it will understand. Okay, set and temp, it collects and it puts it in its structure. After that, what? It doesn't have intelligence. It has to ask application. What I am saying is, it will not ask application. Application by itself will tell that if these things come, call this function. That's what the function pointer is.
Yes.
Application will say that when you see set and temp, call this function. And it will go and put that function in that structure. Now, how do you put a structure in how do you put a function in a structure? By using its pointer. And I'm telling you again and again, if your C skills are not to the level, you will run into these kind of doubts. Going forward, you will see the strain to translate the idea into language requires some more than sufficient expertise in the language. Each of you might be speaking your mother tongue. But if I ask you, uninterruptedly, can you speak in your mother tongue? People will start sweating. Because the amount of vocabulary that you have is very limited, right? We can speak, but we can't write a poetry. But here, translating a requirement into C language equals writing that essay or that poetry, for which you need to have expertise of that particular language. If you have a lot of vocabulary of your mother tongue, then without using English, you can converse. You're getting my point? And you all know, nowadays, if somebody talks in a pure, pristine form of your mother tongue, you will say that, wow, man, after a long time, I am hearing something. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well paid job, book a one on one call with me. Link is in the description. If that is so much a feeling when you hear a language that is spoken by people without using English, if somebody can speak it, attach the same kind of wow factor if your requirements that you understand in English when you want to translate it into C. And that calls for a different level of expertise. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So with this, I have accomplished one thing very important. I spoiled your weekend. Now Saturday and Sunday will be so spicy. Tadka laga ke. Any questions? Ask. It is only because you did not ask. Last time I told multiple number of times, ask, nobody asked. You went ahead and you assumed so many things and you started as if you are doing a C program on Linux console, VS Code, that this library, no. Ask.
Sir, one thing I got clear that we should not need to put all those flags and all those things, we need to just put the thing like there is a command like temp. So set temp. It will
No,
set.
I'm not saying you cannot put. You put it, but at what cost? You end up doing a lot of string operations. There is string operation. I'm not saying that, but you restrict. First, get the design done.
So it is okay to put that command with like with temp like set temp 1 or set temp it will become 1 or about 30.
Wait. You are again overthinking. You are jumping. So this is natural. You will jump. That's why I'm saying write the use case diagrams. The more refined you write your 1 page, 2 page essay of the problem at hand, the more will be the clarity you will get. You people did not write enough number of times. I know that. You got drifted. You thought that, oh, this is the thing. You ran into assumptions. You made conclusions, and you went ahead. And this is natural. This is so natural. That's why you people are feeling that, oh, how to develop a product from scratch. This is not that Geeks for Geeks or Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank question where everything is given to you and you say that, oh, write this logic. Nowadays, you don't have to write any logic. You Google, you will get that small piece of code, plug in, and you are done. In real work, you can ask Priyanka. तोप छोड़ने वाला लॉजिक कोई नहीं लिखता है आजकल. There is Stack Overflow, there is Google, there is YouTube. But that structure, architecture banta hai na, that is a different thing altogether. Yeah, Mary, you were saying something?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
At this stage, do we really need to have an idea about what application I'm going to develop for? Because you spoke about creating the use case diagram. So is it necessary that at this stage we should decide upon what application we are going to, what kind of, yeah.
It will be good. But anyways, your CLI infrastructure has to accommodate your application growth also. If application has certain new get and set, how do you add that new get and set operations? The if tomorrow, if there is this is temperature, okay? Tomorrow I add an LED, then I am interested to get the state of LED, right? That time what will you do? Your CLS infrastructure should cater to this enhancement, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Start with a small application that you can talk about it, you can hold it in your hand. Do some CLI infra that caters to that particular need. But make the design in such a way that you can extend it, enhance it, so that tomorrow the application has a bit more extended functionality. Seamlessly, the CLI also should scale up to that. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought people Saturday will be lost. Looks like Princess Friday also started. Questions. Else we will conclude the call. You fight with your family members when you have doubt.
Sir, as you are saying that whenever some new sensor is been added to the microcontroller, we need to add that uh, command related to that functionality. For example,
I'm not saying that. I never said that.
means
If your application extends itself in certain functionality, provide an extension mechanism for your CLI also is what I said. Why a sensor? If there is an LCD, Then I want to know what is on LCD. LCD is not a sensor, right? But my CLI should accommodate certain set or get so that I can interact with LCD and get what is there. When application grows, CLI infrastructure, the design has to be flexible enough so that it can also grow without much strain.
Yeah, sir, that's the dot I have. For example, we have for temperature, we have some character value. And for after that, we are adding some LED, a small LED, that we only want to know the color. For example, R for red, G for green. So it should be in such a way that it should.
Then I'll again stop you here. You are getting into code. No, you don't. You should not get into code. The structure, the definition of structure is complete. The expected number of parameters already tells how many you can hold. Don't say again G, F and all those things. No. If you have 10 parameters, put 10 here and take care of those 10 parameters. I don't know, you go G, F, H, I, J, K, all those things. I am saying it should be extensible. That's it. And further, the command has this format. You say G, then the expected number of parameters is becoming 1. You say G, H, L, I something 10, then this number will be 10. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you get into specifics, you will get lost. Okay? Sheikh's Friday night also gone. Who is there in the line? अब किसका नंबर आएगा? No, honestly, my nights are also going with all these visualizations like, okay, how can I simplify the complex thing to them? What is the thing? At what stage they are in? How can I simplify much, much easier that they can do? I am in the same boat. Or similar boat. Ask questions, otherwise you will, the more you keep questions, the more that person I know will get delayed with respect to starting writing the code also. And all these questions, they will come when some point of time, you will anyways go and write some code. And all these questions will come as bugs in your code. You all will write some code, I know, but it will not work. It will not work in the 5th iteration also. अरे वंशी क्या बोल दिया? It will not work in the 5th iteration also. Because you put some fix to the foot, the teeth will start falling. You fix the teeth, the elbow will break. If you want to work with me personally, where I guarantee to work with you until you secure a well-paid job, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description. What are the thoughts you are having, Priyanka?
Where to start?
Yeah, where to start? I gave you right. This lecture is
Yeah.
where to start.
Yeah, like few of my understanding wrong right now when you explain this. That's why I'm back to zero. Looks like I'm back to zero again.
Yeah, flush them, throw them out of window.
Yeah.
And I can tell you pinpointedly, I can tell you the reason why you got into this conclusion. Everything is happening here only for you. You did not put it in black and white. That's why you are running into it. If you put it in black and white, life will not be like this. I told you right. When you go through this, you will feel that stupid life, man. I should have done this hard work during my PUC time and other things. I would have ended up in IIT only or something better. But this is the time for you to reclaim your past glory. And I'm not sugarcoating anything. This is the time for you to reclaim your past glory. Put the real work, get this through, you become unstoppable. कितने कितने बार खुद को कोसा है, जिंदगी को कोसा है, पेरेंट्स को कोसा है. Everything that you had till now in your life that you are not happy about, in one stroke. Have you seen that bowling arena? With one ball you throw that all the 10 things. You can do this. Rinse, repeat for one project. Just do for another project. You are done. And in another project where you have a little bit of art as element also, art of flavor, people will die to recruit you. Okay? Shall we conclude the call? Keep your questions with you, then we'll see some other time.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'll make it on the list. After that, I'll put.
Yeah. That's the reason why I told write and then document it, and by creating a document in your folder.
Yes.
Okay then. With a smile on my face, I am saying, enjoy your weekend. Curse me till eternity. Yeah. See you all again on Monday. And Monday
Thank
you will know who did how this week. Oh wow, 1 week already passed. Yeah, 21 days left. Okay. See you all on Monday. Bye.
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 Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.